everybody. It is Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jay. Hi.
Hi, I'm thrifting Dub.
Dub. Hey, Dub. What's happening, Dub?
Not much. How's it going in Vegas?
That should say non-thrifting Deb, and Jason's not thrifting.
That's true. Oh, if you have time, I have an awesome little story to share about one of our thrifting board members. Let me share it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Paul Rasmussen, our good friend, said he's going into his profit pile and putting like a $5 bill in a jar, taking some items out and listing them. And then that money that's in that jar will be his thrifting slush fund when the thrift store is open.
I like it. That's kind of fun.
That's awesome. Peggy would put quarters in her jar.
Yes, quarters and dimes, and she'll be good. All right, so let's get right to introducing our guest. Jason. My brain's all like, I've been in the house for far too long. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different mug, and I try and match it up to our guest. Our guest this week is Nancy Casimiro. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
All right. So normally I just drink a rum and then a mug, and I match it up to the person. However, I introduced Nancy to a 1940s cocktail called Zero Special. And she can never remember the name of it. And every once in a while, I'll get like a text. Hey, what's that purple drink?
Ooh, purple?
I'm actually making a cocktail tonight. I don't do this too often, but I am making a cocktail tonight. So I already have in here dark Jamaican rum, fresh lime juice, Grand Marnier, and creme de cassis. I'm going to shake it vigorously on ice. And this is a straight up drink in a martini type glass. Oh. Oh my God, I got a head. Holy crap.
You got a workout.
Get your Kraken strainer out. And there is a Ciro's Special.
Where's the purple?
Yeah, my creme de cassis is not as purple as the one they use at Frankie's, so it ends up being a little bit more purple.
Okay.
So let me get everyone back in here. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I got my Whitco Tiki mug.
Oh, Denison mug. Very nice.
Oh, I'm double fisting it tonight, Jace.
Whoa, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with her.
It's our
What
new
Stacy got?
It's our new dragon ass pug mug.
Oh, a toe chop.
K.E. Thompson. K.E. Thompson. I bought that off of her. Yeah, from Macari Day in the thrifting board.
How fun.
So, Nancy, what are you drinking?
I'm on keto, so this is my own creation. I call it the Keto Libre. It's Coke Zero with Plantation Original Dark.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
I would drink that in a heartbeat.
The Bar Rescue Shake.
And what are you drinking, Debs?
Oh, don't tell Jason. I have my favorite Riscato wine in here.
Oh, that is against the law.
But a lot of people don't drink rum, so cheers to the wine drinkers.
All right. And for those of you who are just tuning in, if you don't know what Nancy's here to talk about tonight, I even got a little graphic. Instagram! And selling on Instagram. So.
Maybe she can help me get my love on for Instagram.
Yep. All right, Nancy, sit back, relax, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, here we go. We got tons of stuff to get through tonight. So without further ado and no more dilly-dallying, let's get right to it, shall we? I want that to be louder. We will ask Nancy about the cat tiki mug when we get her back on. But right now, it's time for Scores of the Week. These are things that you should be on the lookout for when you get a chance to get back and go outsourcing.
Yeah. Cash flow games. Woohoo. I sell every one of these that I find. I think I paid $1 for it at a little rummage, senior center rummage sale. And I have an extra box. I pick them up even if the parts are missing. That way I can put pieces together. So, and there's also cash flow for kids. So grab those.
So real quick, if you're making cocktails and it calls for shaking vigorously, you should see a little bit of crystals in the top there. See that? Yeah, so that's how you should shake that hard. It's got that much of a chill, a little bit of ice crystals.
Perfect.
All right.
So
There we go.
are you going and sitting in Frankie's parking lot just so you can remember where it's at?
Just crying my drink.
I love this because you know what? Coffee mugs still sell. I've had it listed for a long time, like 3 years, I think. It was made in England, but it finally sold for $24.99.
Very nice. Yeah, that doesn't seem all that exciting to me, but for $25, hell yeah.
Yeah. And then World War II, I believe these are little history booklets. $59.99, and they're not that thick. They're kind of like little magazines. So I was happy to find those and sell those.
Very cool. And I didn't realize this was a t-shirt. That's
awesome. Gumby t-shirt. You find this too. $29.99 for a Gumby shirt. Yay.
Gotta like that. Hell yeah. All right, I got a good little variety today. Picked up some big fellas Ralph Lauren polos when we were in Atlanta, and I've already sold 2 or 3 of them. And here's another one I just sold this week, $34.99. They were $4.99 at the thrift store. If I would have seen this in size medium, say Deb, I wouldn't even bother with it. But 5X big.
Oh yeah,
I think normal size in terms of you don't see it as often, and so some fella that's a tad bigger than me will absolutely love this, and I've gotten great feedback on the ones I already shipped.
Awesome.
Hey, bobbleheads. Stacy and I stopped in a Goodwill to look for something very specific. I can't remember what it was. We didn't find what we needed. We actually needed something.
Oh, I think what do you call it? Tripod.
Oh, yeah. We're looking for a new tripod because my teenage assistant broke ours. But we found these bobbleheads. They were $3 each, and I put them together in a lot, and they were only up for maybe 2-3 weeks, and they sold for $67.
Gore. Wow.
And I keep forgetting to share this, so I definitely didn't do this week or even last week when we were supposed to be social distancing, right? Is that what it's called? Social distancing. But about 3 or 4 weeks ago, someone hit me up. I had this mannequin. I didn't need this one anymore. I bought a new one that I like better. I had them up on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, and a guy from a store asked if I could deliver it, and it was pretty close to my house, and we just ran some errands. I'm like, sure, for $60 cash, absolutely. So don't forget, when we get back to life as normal, to use Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and apps like that. And I had these cowboy boots in a tub in my storage unit for like 9 years. I listed them, they sold 2 days later. So, you know, the good thing about being stuck at home was we're getting to our profit piles, right, Deb?
Oh, yeah. And they've appreciated in value since they've been sitting there, too.
Yeah. So good little menagerie of stuff. But now, time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. All right. So I teased this in the thrifting board earlier today. The only things I shipped today before I had a few more sales were just music. So in a 24-hour period, I only sold 9 CDs and 1 cassette. So no clothes, no books, no nothing else.
Wow.
People are buying music, and 10 items sold for $316. So an average, obviously, of $31 per CD and cassette.
Nice.
But let's talk about flipping cassettes first. And as we are going ready to the show, I just sold this Megadeth for $9. Now, you might say, hey, Jay, why are you talking about a $9 sale? That's not that big of a deal. But let me tell you what that $9 did. That $9 just gave me the best March ever. Now, I see a lot of people complaining their sales are down and this and that. With this sale, and we still have 5 days left in the month, I have had my best March ever in 20 years.
Congratulations.
So I don't do that to brag and say, haha, look how much sales I got. To tell you that they're out there. You got to be listening every day. You got to be running sales, promoted items, get on other platforms. You can do it. We all have the product in our homes in piles. And if I can have my best March ever in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, you can too.
Yep. And you do work hard for that too. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday was the only day I played hooky in a long time. I said, you know what? I don't want to work today. And I lay on the couch for 4.5 straight hours.
Good. You needed it.
Not my norm. All right. But speaking of cassettes, just sold this James Brown cassette last night or the day before for $24. Used cassette. Get on the good foot. And then the Queers is a punk band from New England, New Hampshire, maybe. I did pay $10 for it, but I knew it was worth well more than that. I sold it for $30.51. So my used cassettes are a poppin', but it's not just about the cassettes. It's about the CDs. And guess who has a CD score of the week? Woo! Woohoo, Debbie!
Yay! I thought this was a video game. I picked it up. We were in a little out of the way thrift store, and I like things that, well, for one thing, it was sealed. And when I saw that WWF thingy on there, I just grabbed it up. But wow, I was shocked. It sold pretty quick too. It was like 2 weeks.
Now, this is new and sealed. I was telling Stacy, I said, when this came out, after it came out and it was big for like a moment, they were in the budget bin of every record store I worked at. And I'm like, oh, man, I would have grabbed a few of those and just put them away. Who knows? They would have matured like a fine wine 20 years later.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So if you took Flippin' CDs #2, you saw this CD in the webinar, and it just sold this week. As you can see, it's sold in Australian dollars, meaning it sold directly on eBay Australia. I had 20% off, so I paid $1.60 at Savers and sold it for $18.
Nice.
And this I want to share, not because it sold for $25, but because it was on Amazon for 3 years. I put it on eBay and it sells in 2 days.
Wow.
So that's why. That's what I'm talking about. You got to move your stuff around. 3 years was well long enough. And then boom, eBay, it sells just like that. That's
good. That's awesome.
All right. So this is new and sealed. I bought it at a used record store, new and sealed, as you can see, for $6. This is Les Baxter, part of the Music of a Tiki Bar. Sold it for $29. Special Ed is a rapper that most of you have never heard of. I paid $3 at a record store. Sold it for $30.
Yeah, I only know the horse Special Ed.
And Amoeba had this Elvis CD for $20 new, and I sold it for $82. So you can watch, and this is another thing I taught in Flippin' CDs about buying new stuff, even at record stores. So I have a new segment I'd like to introduce, but I don't have. Well, we'll do this.
Writing my own music.
There we go. That sounds so important. You don't like that?
Something else.
All right. How about?
Yeah.
Yep, like that.
Oh no.
All right, so Stacy has become the queen at digging through budget bins. So when we go into record stores like Zia Records right here in Vegas, I'm working with the rest of the store, and Stacy's like, I'm going right to that budget bin, and I'm finding budget stuff, and I keep track of. I write her name on the sticker. These are Stacy's, and so because I had 2 to share this week, and one is so effing amazing, I'm like, oh, we have a new segment, Stacy's budget bin scores.
Love it.
That's so creative.
Hey, you know. And you can't really tell, but Stacy is standing at the budget bin right here at Zia Records. So the first one I want to share, and we took a cute little adorable picture of here. She got this out of the 99-cent section in Burbank at a record store called Atomic Records. Ray Kanye sold for $14. So not a huge profit, but $1 to $14
adds up.
Easy peasy. But wait, are y'all sitting down? Let's have a sip.
Uh-oh. Cheers. Or is this a cheers to Stacy?
I'm excited.
Yes, it is very much a cheers to Stacy. So Christmas time, we go into LA. I work all the Christmas sections, and while I'm in the regular section, Stacy's in the Christmas budget section. And when we bought this, it was marked $4, but there was a sale. You get so many budget ones, get one free. So it worked out to be $2. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. Drum roll.
How about a Christmas CD sold yesterday for $100 that we paid $2 for out of the budget section? Stacy's Budget Madness. Maybe
where's the mic?
Cheers to Stacy. Oh my gosh.
I got it. There we go. Stacy.
Who's the artist?
Now, let's see in the chat who knows who Glenn Hughes is. You should know.
I think I know.
You should very much know.
I should?
I think you've probably seen him in concert once or twice.
Me?
Yes, you.
I don't know. He's not with ZZ Top.
Nope.
It sounds so familiar that I'm going to go, oh yeah.
Yeah. So I want to point out a couple things.
Is he with Iron Maiden?
Nope.
Oh, because I've seen that. Or Tool?
No.
Oh.
I want to point out a couple things. Christmas just sold. Someone in the middle of a worldwide pandemic while we're all stuck inside on March 25th said, you know what I need? I need a Christmas CD for $100.
My mind is blown.
All right, so no one knows.
I know the name.
Okay, so who the hell is Glenn Hughes? Yep. So he was the lead singer for Deep Purple for many years.
Oh.
And he was the lead singer for Black Sabbath for a small moment, too.
Okay, I haven't seen Black Sabbath, but I have seen Deep Purple twice throughout my lifetime.
And now he has a Christmas CD. So.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah, but no one's going to know that.
Somebody will know that.
He's also the lead singer of Kings of Chaos.
Well, say who?
Oh.
Matt Sorum, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses are in that band. And who else?
I don't know. That's the fourth person.
Well, Chester Bennington was in it too, but he has since passed on. So.
Yep. Wow. Yeah,
so there you go.
So wait a minute. You're telling me.
Yes, he's in the Dead Daisies too.
Oh, wow. He's pretty busy. So you guys are telling me that CDs are still selling these days, that people are still buying CDs?
$100 Christmas CD out of the budget section. So there's all your little tips. All right. And we are moving on. So thank you for your new, you are done.
I certainly am not a dud. So
No, you're not.
I'm leaving now.
And of course, Nadine's never heard of Deep Purple.
Oh my God.
Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
Everybody knows Smoke on the Water. Okay, well, I had this puzzle for a long time. I have it written down somewhere how long we've had it since 2016.
Oh,
not bad. I did have the price higher, but you know what I realized was wrong? It says used. Most people probably don't want to use puzzle, maybe, but actually it's sealed. But because it has a little rip in the plastic, I didn't want to call it new because
I
people
still call it new. If it's a little rip, I wouldn't worry about it.
But a lot of people expect new to be gift giving, pristine condition. That comes from my Amazon training days. So anyway, I added the word sealed in the title. So maybe now it's going to sell.
Could be.
So anyway, yeah, it's been hanging around for a while. And the same thing with this game too. It's sealed, but I didn't have sealed in the title. So I dropped the price at about $2, but it's been sitting around since 2017. So it's time for these guys to go to their new homes.
Yes. So the book kiosk, if you want either of those. Okay, look, I share $100 CDs, but every once in a while, I don't know why I even had this, but some CDs don't sell for as much. So here's my dud of the week. I sold this Butch Walker CD for $2.39. When it's sold, I'm like, I listed a CD for $2.30. I'm guessing I listed it for a lot more. And then every month I'll go through Amazon and just down price everything. So I'm the lowest. And so and sometimes I do just match low. So this I must have matched low because I never really list $2 CDs, but some are duds, and I'm happy to be upfront and honest about when I have a dud CD. Now this one shocks me. This is a very cute Banana Republic little shoulder purse, new with tags, and I've had 548 people look at it. It's been up for a year and a half, $29 on sale right now. I'll tell you what, if anyone likes this, offer me $18. I'll happily take it. Where'd I get it?
The thrift store in Portland.
It's pretty. I like the colors.
Oh, yeah. Downstairs thrift store in Portland. I totally forgot about that. So, yeah, this is a cute, adorable
Well, maybe not.
little tropical Banana Republic new with tags. So, hey, offer me $18. It is yours. And I want to thank Randy. Randy bought my dud last week, the Van Halen book. So thank you, Randy. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Hey, it's springtime. That's a spring color.
Yep. All right, now it's time for where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. And this week, I don't know how to pronounce the city, and there is no pronunciation of it anywhere on the interwebs. Couldn't find it.
Maybe the chat will know.
So, do we have any Germans watching us right now? Because a good distance outside of Munich, this vintage Sears Sherpa corduroy coat went to this city right here. It's not the first word. It's the Shanu Kongen. I have no clue. I have not a clue.
Hanagisi?
Kind of geesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone in Germany needed this coat. Now, the funny thing is, Deb, for next week, probably, I'd already prepped the show, and then I sold another coat to Germany today for $106.
Wow. And
So that'll be on next week's.
I can't get any international sales.
I know, it's crazy.
I don't know what's going on.
Get your listings internationally. All right, now it's time for our Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you are outsourcing.
Well, since we can't go outsourcing, this would be a good time to learn a new topic. I want to learn belts, men's and women's belts, because I see them everywhere hanging, and I know there's money. So, I put belts for men. I just started with that one in the search, and then I changed it to price plus shipping with the highest. These are all like $2,000 and $3,000. There were some really expensive ones, and I'm sure it's the belt buckle. Probably has silver. So take some time, maybe an hour instead of watching TV or something, and just scroll through a category that you would like to learn. And just as we're looking at them and hearing names, maybe click on the description and see how, what's so big about that belt? Why is it so expensive? And even a $25, $30 belt, if you get a bunch of those, because they're hanging in thrift stores, they're at garage sales, piled in boxes. And I know one of the thrifting members found one, the belt buckle turned out to be like real silver, and he got a nice chunk of change just because of the belt buckle that was with it.
Nice. All right, so my sourcing tip is actually Stacy's first Macari sale. Yay! So Craig and Rick talk about self-sourcing. It's kind of like self-pleasure because we can't go out and source. So go into your closet, find that pair of shoes, find that t-shirt, find that Hawaiian shirt, find that Hawaiian dress that you haven't worn in 6 years or 20 pounds and sell it, because you can always buy it back later on if you lose that 20 pounds. But these didn't fit well, right? Is that why you get?
I bought them to donate.
Oh yeah, we bought them to donate.
They were a little big on me anyway.
To the Pug Rescue, which no longer exists in this town, and they were a little big on stage, so she listed them on Macari and sold them right away. So go self-source. It is also a self-pleasure. And Robert Johnson is hilarious. He said the way you pronounce that city in Germany is Cleveland.
Oh.
That is German for Cleveland. And I want to say thanks for Brandon. Yeah, Butch Walker has a rare CD that's worth over $300. So Butch Walker was in a band that was hot for a minute called Marvelous 3. Marvelous 3. Yeah. And then he's a big time producer, but most people have never heard of Butch. And like I said, again, I don't know why I had that $2 CD. I don't know. Hashtag self-sourcing. Hell yeah.
Now we're going to look for Butch Walker's $300 CD.
Yes, absolutely. All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. Little tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Oh, righty. Something that we started doing is check your tracking numbers and see where those packages are, because I hate getting a message from a buyer saying, hey, where's my package? And I'm like clueless. So we check every day. We just click on those tracking numbers really quick. It lets us know it's in, it's in progress, or it's here, or it's there. Because in California, we have, down in Bell, California, we call it the black hole. Things get in there and they can sit there for 2 weeks. And I want to message my buyer ahead of time and say, hey, I see your packages not there yet. I'm keeping an eye on it. It lets them know that we care. And then maybe they're not going to bug us and say, where's my stuff? I mean, we get that sometimes with media mail because it's so slow. It can be slow. So keep a tab on what's going on, so that before they reach out to you.
Oh. All right, so I gotta put me on the big screen for my shipping tip this week. Remember those 3 bobbleheads I bought, sold?
Yes.
A few more. So you're going to wrap the bobblehead in bubble, but if you don't wrap it tight, his head would still move. And one of the main reasons things break when they're in the middle of shipping in transit is because they can move around. So when you do bobbleheads, you want to take a little piece of like tissue paper or something like this, and you want to get it in the neck and hold it so it's solid like this.
Good idea.
He is not bouncing around all over the place. Now, this is a modern bobblehead. It's just composite. The vintage ceramic ones, way more susceptible to breaking because they're ceramic and they're old and brittle. So you got to put a little something around the neck to make the head not move at all, then wrap it in bubble wrap.
Oh, great idea. Protect those necks.
Protect your neck. Yeah. All right. Now it's time for our online selling tips. Doesn't matter if you're selling on Etsy, ThreadUp, Instagram, or eBay. These are little tips and tricks to help you out when you are selling.
Yes.
Someone said make a scarf. I like that. Make a scarf.
Hawaiian fabric. If you're not using promoted listings, you probably should be, but there is a way you can go in and see, what's selling. And also we get a discount. If you're a top rated seller, you receive a $30 credit quarterly. And then Anchor, you can read all of that there. But then you can go into Seller Hub, click on promoted listings, and your dashboard comes up. And there is a graph, and there's lots of data there. And then if you click Sales Report, it will pop up and it will show the actual items that you sold via promoted listing. So we have, there's a couple items there that you can see. And then on your sold, there's a green line will come up and it'll say sold via promoted listing. So it's kind of fun to see. I think I had $420 in sales and my promoted listings cost me $20. So I figured that's what, 10, 5, I don't know how many, 10%, 5%? 5%. So this is a way for you to go in and say, is this really working for me? Why should I spend my money on? But we do get a store credit if you're top rated seller and higher. So it's definitely worth it.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So this might be the jacket I might have sold to Germany today after I got the show all prepped. So you probably will see it next week. But I wanted to, okay. So we got to pause for a quick second here because I just saw something on eBay. And the funny thing is, here's the get the hell out of here moment of the day. You ready?
Oh, I can't wait.
So we start the show and Stacy goes, hey, did you list all those sealed games and stuff that we bought at Savers? So it wasn't one of the games, but I just sold a sealed paint by number kit because people want to be doing stuff like this while we're all stuck at home for $27 plus shipping.
Okay, now back up and wait a minute. Your little teaser, your little promotion video you did today.
Yeah.
What did you say in there? I'm selling paint by numbers.
I know. And I just sold one.
Now it sells.
All
See,
right.
if you talk about your items, you touch them or think about them, they're going to sell.
Yeah. All right. So here's my online selling tip. When you have most products have a very much focal front point. So this is obviously the focal front point of this item. And obviously of this Ramones box set, this is the focal front point. But on this jacket, the big Rolling Stones was on the back, but the front's got the tongue and the little date on the side. And so I was like, man, I want to get it all in the first picture because most buyers ignore pictures 2 through 12. Mm-hmm. So I did a little combo action. I threw a small back in the corner of the big front. Now, how do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to do a how-to video tomorrow. So stay tuned to this YouTube channel. It'll be like a 2-minute how-to video. But there are sometimes, and not most times, but sometimes you need to have both your front and back of the item in the first picture. It'll really, really help. For instance, there are some tiki mugs that are quite rare, quite common. But if you showed the back, it came from a bar that made that version quite rare. So even though it says in the title, I would absolutely have a picture of the back and the front in the same first picture.
It looks so nice, and I would think it catches people's eyes because they're little thumbnails when you're scrolling through.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
So, and you'll see this jacket again next week for sure. Either Scores or Where in the World, since that went today.
Okay, and we're going to be talking about ephemera today, so I wanted to share this. I'll read the story. While out thrifting, I found this picture for purchase. There was a name on it and decided the family needed it back. After a little research, she found the people. The family was very appreciative and looked forward to receiving the picture. Sometimes it's not about making money, but making someone happy. And thank you to Ange in the thrifting board. This was her story. And I just thought it was so amazing that she took the time to find the person and send it to him. If that was my relative, I would have been thrilled to get that back.
Woo-hoo.
Awesome.
All right, so I see a question. Does eBay allow this? Does eBay allow what? So when you ask questions, make sure you're very specific because also you might be a little bit more behind in the show than we are being live. And so if you're so generic, does eBay allow this? I don't even know what to answer because I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
She's probably talking about the collage, the front and the back picture.
Oh, so that was from the chat. I thought it was for us.
Maybe.
Never mind.
Oh, well, we want to know too.
Oh, I remember back in the day we could do this type of double image, but thought it got taken away. No, not at all. So
But you can't put text, right? You can't put your
you
watermark.
can't put text in there, but yeah, double images, that was never something that was taken away. So yes, definitely. No. All right. So before we get Nancy in here, let me get rid of that real quick. A couple things I want to talk about on this channel you're watching right now. Angela, who is one of the lifeguards in the thrifting board and is in charge of the social media, which we do every day, social media sharing. Angela and I did a 49-minute video on how to share and how to Pinterest. Now, I know 49 minutes sounds long, but if you've never done it, if you see that we do 2 share posts a day, the morning and then late night share. And the reason to share is people who see my stuff are kind of used to seeing my stuff. But if I share Debbie's stuff and then Debbie shares my stuff and then Angela shares my stuff and then Nancy shares my stuff, now the people who follow Debbie and Angela and Nancy are seeing my stuff and Debbie's stuff and Nancy's stuff. And so you tell 2 friends and they tell 2 friends. So you should be participating in the social media share thread. If you've been too embarrassed to ask or don't understand it, we've got a lot of great feedback on this video. It's a pretty easy walkthrough. Basically, Angela teaches me step by step how to create a board, how to do the social media sharing, all that stuff. So please go check this out. I think I called it Pinterest 101 or something like that, but it's right here on this YouTube channel. And then jump in with the social media sharing.
And that's awesome because you can pause it as you're doing it.
Yeah. And then we are all stranded on Coronavirus Island. So in the thrifting board, bless you.
Thank you.
If you have not joined the thrifting board, please come over and join us. Every day we're doing daily beach activities. So the first 10 days were very much geared towards working on your business. And a lot of this is going to pay off in Q4.
Yes.
So Monday, day 1 was Macari Monday. It was a week and a half ago. I want everyone who has never been on Macari to list 3 things on Macari, and those on Macari to list 6 things on Macari. And we've had so many sales since then, including I bought this because someone listed on Macari, that people are already selling, but we're gearing towards Q4. And also I'm having my best month, March ever, because I'm selling on a variety of platforms. Right. So I'm not going to go through every day, but just to highlight a couple things. Day 5 was show us how you organize your inventory, because we all have different ways to do it, but maybe you can learn from me. You can learn from Debbie. You can learn from Melissa. And if you just go to the thrifting board and type in the search box, #castaways, you will find all these posts every day.
So Jason, if we're not caught up, can we go back and just still participate?
Oh yeah. Usually like the social media share threads are just for that day. But if you're going to list on Macari, I just sold some socks. If you're going to list on Macari, go back and talk about on that post. If you're going to clean up your inventory and show you think you got a better way to inventory, please share that. And now we're doing the fun stuff. So yesterday I said, all right, what's the best song about staying away from each other? Like The Police, Don't Stand So Close to Me. Hammer, You Can't Touch This. So I've got 100 together. I'm going to post in the group tonight. So it's going to be a great playlist to work on, to listen to while you're working tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to ask you for pictures of your fur babies, your fur loved ones. So we're doing some fun stuff. So we did some like important business stuff, and now we're doing very much fun stuff. So please jump in and participate. And I know this weekend we're doing show us your pajamas you work in. So we're definitely doing some fun stuff now.
I got to go get special ones. Now I have to go to the store.
You don't have special ones?
Probably.
All right.
It's nice to have a new pair of pajamas.
It's a rarity that I have. Crap. I closed the thing. Reopen. There we go. I have everything planned for the next week. Okay. For those of you in the Secret Beach, Susan Van Slyke's beach store review is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock West Coast. So tune in for another awesome store review. This Sunday, since we really haven't had any sourcing or anything going on, we're going to do part 2 of revising mom's 2-year-old or older listings.
Fun.
We did 10 last week. People loved it. And we're going to do 10 different items this week. So tune in for that.
And that's great for new sellers because we have a lot of newbies in the thrifting board.
Yep.
Watching these, well, they'll learn a lot from this too.
And then on Tuesday, I'm doing my web class for the month in the Secret Beach. It's basically shipping 101. I've never done a shipping one. So I've taken 12 kind of common things that we all ship: jeans, CDs, a tiki mug, and I'm going to explain how to ship them and how to ship it worldwide. So those of you in the Secret Beach, that you're just finding out, that's happening on Tuesday.
Awesome.
And then next week, I have not got it together yet, but I'm going to do our next board meeting with people affected by the closure of our country. So I am going to have an eBay seller. I'm going to have a business owner. I'm going to have like a waiter or a bartender or a beautician. And I'm going to do a whole board meeting like that. So we're going to talk to a lot of people affected by it. What are they doing to cope? And how can we help?
Good idea. That'll be great.
That'll be next week.
That'll be awesome.
And that's it. All right. Phew.
Yay!
All right. Let's get our guest in here. Hey, everybody. It's Nancy. Oh, that drink sounds empty.
Did you finish one of
That's
those?
why I'm double fisting.
Oh, this will be fun.
So people were asking about that cat mug. You want to tell us about that cat mug?
It was designed by Jeff Granito. You will recognize him as a Disney artist in residence and sold through Tiki Land Trading. I know that the black one is sold out. I believe that the white one they made at Christmas is still available. You just want to Google Tiki Land Trading.
Cute. I like it. I'd like to see the white one too.
And what's that cute red one you got there?
This cute red one has a blue brother, but we're using the red one tonight.
It kind of looks like that.
I saw that spinning in the background. That's pretty cool.
Yes. I have one too.
So Nancy and I are a combo of friends. We're Tiki friends and we're online selling friends. And I have that crossover with quite a few people. But when I'm in thrifting type groups, I see Nancy. When I'm in our Tiki groups, I see Nancy. And so Nancy has sold off and on for years, but moved over to Instagram and makes her own products. I'm like, all right, let's talk about that. Like, I just wanted to hang out and drink with her. So, but I'm like, all right, we got to talk about something to teach people. Drinking's all fine and dandy, but let's teach some people. So why don't we back up, Nancy? When was the first time you started selling online?
Oh gosh, I started selling on eBay way back in the day, when we all did. And I don't even remember what I was selling at the time. I got more serious 4 or 5 years ago. My husband and I are obsessed with thrift shopping, and we can't keep everything. We had to do what the rest of us do. We had to flip some of it to fund our hobby. So that's mostly what that has been.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing about, nowadays about collecting. You go out, you find the stuff you like, and then when you're like, okay, I have too much, or I got 6 of those, now it's super duper easy to sell it because there's so many platforms. And that's what we're going to talk about. I wrote this up, and I'm not sure how many people understood what I wrote, but I said, the great one said, go where the puck's going to be, not where the puck was. Now, the great one is Wayne Gretzky.
I knew that.
One of the greatest hockey players of all time. But typically you would think, all right, I'm going to go where the puck is. No, he was trained by his father and good enough to go where the puck's going to be. And so Nancy was like, my customers seem to have moved to Instagram. So guess where I'm going? Instagram. Wow. Ta-da. So so you're selling online, but do you have a regular 9-to-5 also?
Yes, I do. I have a regular office job. So yeah.
So selling is not your full-time gig. It's a part-time gig. So when did you realize, Instagram can be a place to sell on?
Well, so our niche is vintage and tiki and Hawaiian. But I'm also a big crafter. So as I started to shop craft supplies, I noticed that a lot of that was moving over to Instagram for a variety of reasons. but it was easy, almost impossible not to shop because we're on Instagram scrolling anyway, and I keep seeing all these amazing things I want to buy. Uh, so when I decided that I wanted to kind of focus on ephemera, smalls, storage in my home is becoming a problem with my regular stuff. So I wanted to focus on smaller things and things that I wanted. Isn't that kind of what we do? I wanted to buy stuff, keep the part I wanted, sell off the rest.
Good.
And so, Instagram is really picking up as far as a great venue for vintage things, ephemera. I suppose for all sorts of things. That just happens to be my niche and what I'm looking at.
Nice.
So did someone teach you how to sell on Instagram, or were you just kind of watching others do it?
Well, I did kind of watch what others did. I had to ask my adult daughter how to even make multiple Instagram accounts.
Love it.
And she's very patient with her mother.
Okay.
And then I kind of ran across this group by accident that has been such a huge blessing. They're called Instagram Shopping Network.
Oh.
And I know that some of them, the admins are in the chat right now, so they'll help me. But they really helped me to understand the importance of hashtags in Instagram, how the Instagram algorithms work. Some of the things like, one of the differences with Instagram is that you've got to build your own audience. Unlike on a platform like eBay or Etsy, so they can search what they're looking for and your item may come up. But on Instagram, you kind of, that may happen if you hashtag well. And up until Instagram, we've all used hashtags for jokes. A lot of times you might post on Facebook, having a great day, hashtag not, or, we use them as jokes. But on Instagram, you're going to use your hashtags like you do in an eBay listing. When we're listing and we use those hashtags to direct traffic to what you want them to see. So for instance, on this one, I'm going to hashtag Hawaiian dress, caftan, vintage Hawaiian, hashtag things that will bring the viewers to you. And then you want to use your Instagram to develop relationships with those people, which is something we don't do on the other platforms. We want to develop relationships so that we have a loyal following, or fan club, as I call it. And you build those loyal customers who they get to feel like they know you a little bit. You can kind of post some personal stuff, vacation pictures, or your family, or what you're working on, because I craft, and people feel like it's a kind of a give and take relationship. They get to know you a little bit, and it helps develop that loyalty.
Nice. Is there a maximum of hashtags you should use, or can you just kind of go crazy?
I believe the algorithm says 10 or more.
10.
I believe that's the current train of thought. Yeah. And you can actually, my daughter taught me, Google trending hashtags.
Oh, wow.
So if you, and that probably would work for eBay as well. Whatever it is that you're selling, for instance, on this vintage caftan, I might Google trending hashtags for vintage caftans, and it'll tell you some of the most popular hashtags.
Nice. I recently heard from one, I think it was Tony Boss, we're supposed to use hashtags on Macari. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Well, guess we can try that too.
Yep, it's part of it. They give you 3 in Macari.
Cool.
All right. So let's talk about hashtags, because I know we tend to have sometimes an older audience tuned in. And so let's explain hashtags. So when if you're following Nancy, you're going to see her posts already. So say you're friends with Nancy, or say Nancy is selling stuff, you're going to go follow Calamity_vintage, just as I've got it down at the bottom of the screen here. And then maybe you've never heard of Nancy or Calamity Vintage, and you see these hashtags. Now, if someone searches hashtag Hawaiian, or vintage Hawaiian, or someone sees it written someplace, if they just touch on vintage Hawaiian, then here are the 18.8 thousand current posts that have the hashtag vintage Hawaiian. So you need to have never met Nancy. You don't need to know Nancy. But if you're into vintage Hawaiian, go look up that hashtag. And then here are all the top or recent vintage hashtag posts. Now, not all these are selling. Some of these people are just like, hey, man, I'm at hashtag vintage Hawaiian tiki bar. Or I am for sure this little outfit right here is for sale.
So those are live links. If we click on one of those pictures, it takes us over to that person's Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that dress in the middle there.
So, hashtag great show. Thank you. Yeah, so that's how hashtags work. So you got to think, okay, and for Macari too, even though you only get 3 in Macari, what haven't I said that people will be looking for? Okay, so say on Macari, I'm selling a Motley Crue CD. If I haven't said Vince Neil anywhere because he's the lead singer, I'm going to hashtag Vince Neil because people will search for Vince Neil stuff. Same with this. Nancy's got this caftan, and people are going to search for vintage Hawaiian. Or what else you got down here, Nancy? Red and white, just straight up caftan, straight up Hawaiian dress. Those are all the. Hey, I need a cocktail. Can you give me a cocktail?
Hey, I want one too.
Give me a rum and diet. Something. Thanks, babe. So that's how hashtags work. So you got to think of what people are going to be looking for that might accidentally roll across you. Now, once they find Nancy and they like what she's got going on, then they're going to follow her. So they're not looking for her ever again. They're already following her. And Nancy says, I said, hey, Nance, can you show me some of your solds? And she goes, oh, I remove them when they sell and they go quick.
Oh, wow.
So what's your normal like turnaround time when you list something for sale? What's the norm?
Well, on the handmade items that we were talking about,
Which I am going to show in a second.
Within a couple hours, an hour, 2 hours.
Whoa.
Because there's already a following of people that want them. So they're already right there, ready to be the one. Me.
With their purses open and their many ready.
Oh, yeah. I meant to say this. If you don't know what ephemera is all vintage paper stuff like postcards, menus, travel brochures. That's ephemera.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's asking my Insta. Debbie and I will show ours in a minute. Susan wants to know what your first hashtag means. ISN member item.
So that group I mentioned that I belong to, Instagram Shopping Network, that's ISN member item. So everybody that's a member of that group can use that hashtag, and it's specific to this particular group. If you search it right now, you'll find like, I don't know, 157 some odd thousand listings of persons that are members of this group for selling vintage and handmade items. There are other similar groups out there. This one has been so awesome for me.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And everyone wants you to know that you spelled available incorrectly. So
happens frequently. Thank you.
Yeah, luckily that's
Fat
not important words. So, and someone says, Instagram seems like Twitter. What's the difference? Well, here's the difference. Twitter, although it can and will have images, Twitter's more about your thought in words. Instagram's more about your picture in the visual.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Can you show us how to post something on Instagram? I'm not set up to do that, but haven't we done that? Yeah, we've done that a couple times on Thrifty Business. So we'll have to dig up where we did that, Deb, and we'll post it again. Well, that's a great question for Nancy. How does someone pay on Instagram, Nance?
PayPal, as you suggested there. So like in my listing, it says, I've got my price plus shipping, and then it says comment me or mine to claim and follow up with your email and zip code. That email is so that I can send you a PayPal invoice.
There you go.
Okay, so it's not like eBay where you just buy it and then they skip the email. You have to manually bill them then. Well, that's good to know.
Yes, I have the PayPal business account, so you can actually create an invoice because usually somebody's buying multiple things. So I'll list each one out and the price and invoice them.
Now you don't probably have fees, right? Because it's on Instagram. You have your PayPal fees, but you don't get charged fees from Instagram.
Correct.
So right here, you'll see that blue dot and then gray dot, gray dot, gray. This means there's multiple pictures in this listing.
Oh,
and
Oh.
And oftentimes, like say you're Instagramming a cute picture of your dog, you probably need one. But if you're selling a product like this caftan or this dress, you're going to put up multiple pictures. So those who are shopping know this means there's multiple pictures, and you can look at all of them. And I saw another question.
This is so fun.
Matt wants to know what a DM is. That is a direct message. And that's also where you find people who want to hook up with you.
Oh.
They're going to slide into your DMs.
No. No.
All right. So, Nancy, you put both these up today. And I did see some comments. No one said I want to buy it just yet. But people are like, oh, my God, I love this. So
that's step one to wanting to buy it.
Yep. And then
now, part of the way that the algorithms, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
Part of the way the algorithms work on Instagram is the more activity your post creates and the sooner after you post it is created will move your things forward, so to speak, or move them up the chain of command. And I'm sure it works much the same way with eBay. So part of joining a selling group like Instagram Shopping Network is that we like and comment on each other's posts immediately to help just to help that algorithm out a little in our favor.
Love it.
And that's kind of like the social media sharing thread in the Thrifty board every day.
Exactly.
Same kind of deal.
Exactly.
The more activity, the more eyes will get you a customer, because say you start on Instagram tonight, you're going to have maybe your mom and your cousin and your neighbor follow you, and that's it. But as you start to post and you hashtag properly, like I'll go to a tiki bar, take a picture of my cocktail and hashtag tiki bar, tiki mug, tiki cocktail, the cocktail it is. And then people who love Instagram, they're like, hey, let's see some pictures of 3 dots and a dash. And they'll run across mine because I was drinking a 3 dots and a dash and I hashtagged it. Oh. And so people will see it. And then they're like, oh, this guy has a lot of cool tiki things. I'm going to follow him. So they don't need to know me. They never need to know me, but they can follow me. So did you sell all these gnomes individually, or were they one big group?
Individually.
They're cute.
I came across a huge lot of cake and cupcake decor pics and decor. I paid maybe, I think, $50, and I brought home like 5 huge grocery bags full of cake decorations and put them up individually. And I've already more than quadrupled my money, and that was just last weekend that I posted them. Yeah.
I'm sorry that no one has slid into Randy's DMs just yet, but Randy, I'm sliding into it later. Be ready.
We just sold a tiki mug.
Nice. Shit, where the
cool.
question goes? Oh, do you need approval by Instagram to sell?
Oh, good question.
No.
Nope.
No, but that is a good point. Instagram does they have the regular account, and then it'll say, like, do you want to upgrade to a professional account? I believe was the word they used. And it doesn't cost anything. Yes, you do, because you get additional features. Let me turn mine back on so I can remember what Instagram calls it. You get to view your insights. So and you can also promote your listings the same way you can in eBay. You establish how much money you want to spend, who your target audience is, age range, location, and that kind of thing. But the insights tell me, for instance, that 12 people have liked that blue caftan. People commented on it. It's reached 114 people. 42% of them are not my followers, or were not before they saw that. So all of those features are free on the professional account of Instagram.
Awesome.
All right. So Angela has some questions. How does one join one of those groups? So the ISN, how do you join that?
You would, oh goodness, I should have taken down that information. You will hit up one of the admins if you're interested in joining, and they're in the chat, so I'm going to let them answer.
Okay.
Go ahead and let them answer that on the chat.
And then is there a co-join Facebook group for the Instagram group?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Instagram Shopping Network. Look for it on Facebook.
There we go.
And they are all also members of the thrifting board, because we're all flipping stuff, just saying. So there'll be names and people you recognize.
Awesome. Big happy.
I'm gonna guess Julianne is one of the moderators in the group. She said ISN is also a group that people can trust.
Yay.
And Sarah said
yeah.
ISN for vintage and handmade Instagram shop. So if you're selling brand new tube socks, ISN is not for you.
So it's kind of like Etsy in a way, then,
No,
vintage and handmade.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. This group, yes. There are others. Sarah is the creator of the group originally.
Nice.
So,
Thank you for
Sarah
watching.
Coleman, I see her there.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. And I'm going to be joining because I got a lot of vintage stuff. I want to. I got tons of great dresses.
They have. Oh, well. Just send those to me, Jason. I
will send you pictures first, my dear. If they are your cut, you get your gifts. Do you ever get returns on Instagram or complaints about an item?
You know, because I have learned so much from you, Jason, I take the emotion out of my business and I don't even let things like that bother me. However, most or the Instagram sell, I can't say what most people do, but the ones that I've seen, they will sometimes put in their listings no returns. I haven't had a complaint or a return yet.
Nice.
But I would handle it exactly like I do with eBay.
Right.
I would handle it exactly as I've learned from you, and handle it just through PayPal, just like I do on eBay. I'm not sure. I think it's more of the rogue situation on Instagram, and everybody's going to handle their own different.
Now I will say I got a return today, vintage dress. Because I don't think they didn't realize that a vintage 16 is not going to be a modern 16.
Right.
And so I didn't convey that well enough. I don't think. So that'll be my eBay tip next week. I'm going to talk about that a little bit once I get it back, how I can help with that. So, but most people who are vintage shopping, like on Instagram, following Nancy, fully know what their size is in vintage, what they want. So it is not a surprise. What does ISN stand for? Did we say that?
Yes. Instagram Shopping Network.
All right, cool.
Shopping Network.
How many sales do you get in a month, Nancy?
Oh gosh, you know, I have not been doing it very long, so I could not give you a number, but we work a little bit different. Because we're building relationships on Instagram, we also want to build anticipation toward a sale. So we get our sales in a lot, so to speak. I would, for instance, we've got a sale coming up April 1st and 2nd. I'm participating in this group sale. So I'm going to advertise it every day for like 7 days, maybe 3 times a day. I might post sneak peeks of the things I'm going to sell. I might just post sneak peeks of the things I'm making and just little snippets and build that anticipation. And then the day that I've said I'm going to have that sale, I'm going to post all the things I have for sale, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 items, whatever it may be. And they're going to sell that day. And then I'm going to package them up and, you know, invoice and ship them the next day. Now, anything that didn't sell will still be in my feed forever available. But the way that Instagram shopping seems to work, the bulk of it is kind of like that in a deal, all in one day type of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So Amy says, Nancy, you should touch on how you post an ephemera sale.
I think mostly just the kind of answered that in much the same way. I would say whatever it is that's coming, you know.
Such a good chat tonight. I'm trying to catch up. I'm like,
yeah, that's awesome. Look at all the
I think I answered that.
So you
package, you know, whatever it might be.
You package your Instagram sales in eBay boxes and tape, and that's all. That's okay. People are okay with that?
Well, you know, I have a ton of that free because I do have an eBay store, so I do get those supplies.
It works. That's great. They're so pretty. They look great.
So Sarah said, so Craig said, I just noticed you have to have 10 items for sale on Instagram to join the Facebook group. So I guess I'll have to wait until then. And Sarah said, yes, we ask you to have 10 to 15 listings in your shop, then we approve you. So Sarah, keep a heads up for me. Tiki Pug Music, I'm coming. I am coming. Yes, I ruined my tip for next week. No, I'm gonna show what I did, Randy, and what I should have done. I know better with vintage dresses. I just someone looked for their size and they bought. I get it. I screwed up. I
Yeah.
They
wasn't.
should have known better. People shopping for vintage.
I know,
They
but
should
maybe they're
know.
new to it. Who knows? And I, look, free return. I'm mad. I'm just gonna make my listing better for next time, and I'm gonna up the price by $5. It'll cover my
Right.
stuff. Sarah says she averages 30 to 90 sales per month on Instagram. So thank you, Sarah.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's great.
All right. So more sold stuff of yours, and then paper, just paper.
Isn't that cute though? Look how
Yeah,
cute
it is.
It's only like this big. It's tiny.
Love those colors.
So when you and the color's not so good there, but it's purple and pink and blue. Now I know a lot of people commented on my sales post there that they remember that from junior high, but I saw the rich kids with it and I never had those colored papers, so I want them.
Yes.
Just saying. Now, when you show the pictures of the things that I make, that's the size of my product, and those are the kinds of things I use in my product. And that is why I am marketing that to others who make the same things.
Oh, cool.
So this is probably a question for both you, Nancy, your thoughts, and then Sarah's in the chat. So Craig said, so would you suggest to a newbie to selling on Instagram to get 10 things up right away, or do like one and then maybe something social and fun like a cocktail or your doggy or something? Or would you put 10 things right in a row?
Ooh, good question.
For me personally, I put those social type pictures in my stories. Much like Facebook, you have your listings, your whatever, your board, and then you have your stories. Stories are only up for 24 hours and then they're gone forever unless you saved them to your favorites or whatever. So I post personal things and sneak peeks in my stories, and I keep my feed clean with just things that are available for sale.
Oh, that's good.
That is awesome. All right. So let's get into what you make because, cool. You thrifted a vintage Hawaiian caftan. You got it for sale. Someone will probably snag it the next day or so. But you are also very crafty. What do you call these things that you make?
It's called a junk journal.
Oh.
This is so cute. I love this one.
Should I just lean back now and Debbie and Nancy talk about journals?
See you later, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it cute? It's called a junk journal. So I wish I could scroll through the pictures right here for you and tell everybody, but
okay, so
the ones that I've made recently.
What is a junk journal?
Oh, Stephanie Mirsky.
Well, you have to see the insides.
Okay.
So it's just and I'm making tiki ones. Oh, look, there's a view from the top, so you can see how fat that book is and full of stuff. I'm making tiki ones for our tiki adventures, and in that one, I'm going to document all the tiki spots that we hit. I will stick the ephemera in there that I get at the tiki places, like my coasters and my swizzle sticks and menus, and stick all my things that I want to save, all my memorabilia. So that's what you will do with a junk journal. This particular one is St. Patrick's Day theme, and I used a little golden book about Disneyland for the cover. And then the pages are just frilly and fun and full of pockets to tuck little things in, full of places to document whatever it is that you're going to use that particular book for. Some people, well, the other one I made that you've got pictures of is a Valentine's Day one. So you may document your Valentine's Day traditions through the years, gifts you got and gave, Valentines you received, and just, all kinds of it's just a fun, there's the Valentine one, fun way to just, like scrapbooking. It's a lot like scrapbooking.
Scrapbooks.
Yeah. They're just so much fun to make and to play with, and all the cutesy little ephemera. So that's what I'm doing with all my ephemera, creating the pages and whatnot for this. And then for myself, I'm saving the ephemera from my own adventures to save in my own adventure / junk journals.
Love it.
Isn't that cute? I made it with a little slide.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
So what do you sell
so
these
much
junk
fun.
journals for?
Well, okay. Thank you, Jason, for asking that question.
Welcome.
Part of the deal with Instagram, as we all know, supply and demand, right? And because you're building your own audience, so the more fans you have or followers, the more you can charge for something, especially handmade. If it's not, vintage has a value. You can use your eBay solds and you know what the value of a vintage item is. Handmade items, you can demand whatever price your public or your fans or your followers are willing to pay. So the Valentine and the two that you're seeing sold for about $75. And that's new in Instagram. So by another month or two, they are sold by other people who have thousands of viewers for upwards of almost $200.
What?
And that's my goal. That's my goal.
That's awesome.
That's a good-
They're just so much fun to make. They're just so much fun for me to make. And my best girlfriend and I know she's out there. Hey, Gwen, we just make these together and we talk about them all day. We are at our jobs texting each other. Oh my gosh, did you see that other cute estate sale? Oh my gosh, they have vintage slides. We need those for our upcoming journals. And it's a whole nother obsession.
That's awesome.
So here's a great question, and let's think of all of them. So the junk journals, your dresses, ephemera. Do you cross-list them, or are you just throwing them on Instagram? And if they don't sell there, maybe you put them somewhere else?
You can definitely cross-list and cross-post, just like we already do with eBay. I personally haven't yet, but it's more of a hobby for me than a business. So I just haven't had the time to cross-post. Like I said, I have a full-time job, and this working remotely from home nonsense makes everything take twice as long. So you definitely can cross-post. No reason not to.
So Freight Station says other people are buying your memories. No, you're setting up for them to put more memories in.
Yes, you get a book that's decorated, but you put your memories in it. Mine stay with me.
Oh, love it.
Hey, real quick, a question from an hour ago by Heather. Are those gravel art next to you?
Yes, they are. I collect gravel art.
Nice.
I collect paint by numbers. I do paint by numbers.
Ooh.
Yes.
Awesome.
They're beautiful, aren't they, Jace?
Yep. All right. So if you want to follow, now that you're following Nancy, if you want to follow Debbie and I, whoops. All right. So my Instagram is Tiki Pug Music. It's my selling ID also. Super duper easy. It's 3 very short words put together. They're all very easy to spell. Okay. And there's mine. And look who's in mine. Oh, it's Debbie Casey. And here's Debbie's, and look who's in Debbie's. Me.
Oh my gosh. I haven't even gone in mine for so long. I don't do Instagram too much, but now I'm getting excited. It's been a long time.
So there you go. So what we'll do, Deb, let's do this later, or even Angela, because she's in the chat. Let's put a post up in correlation to this show. Make sure everyone watches it, and then we'll all share each other's Instagram and the thrifting board. And then who knows? Maybe I'll buy from you, and I've never even met you. So that's the whole plan.
Yes, let's get the party going.
As Sarah said, they're like a pre-made scrapbook for filing. So if you're not creative, you buy from Nancy, who is, and then you fill in like, okay, my best tiki bar experience is this, and my favorite mug is this. But Nancy's already set up all the pages for you to do.
I gotta say something. Yeah. My phone right now, all these people now are following my book kiosk Instagram from the show.
How cool. How cool. Now, if you want to see a picture of Jason and I together, you could go to my Tiki Instagram, which is the Real Housewives of Tiki, and you'll see Jason and I together.
Oh, I love that title.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mark, I heard when you cross post, don't just copy and paste, but tailor the item for the platform. Exactly. Instagram is about the visual and the hashtags where eBay is about the facts, if that makes sense, you know? So yeah, you definitely want to make sure when you're doing these kind of things, you're thinking about the platform. Like Macari is kind of like eBay Junior, but it takes the hashtags of Twitter and Instagram and adds them in. So, all right, so you got to kind of write it like eBay, and then you got to think like Instagram and Twitter. Okay, hashtag. And so you got to be creative with your hashtags, because the more ways you can bring eyeballs to your items, the better off you're going to be.
This is so fun. My phone's just going crazy with followers. Thank you, everybody. I'll follow you back.
Angela says we do have a group file, so let's refresh that, Angela, and or let's add the link to this episode to people to watch, and then we'll all be each other's friends, and then we'll buy from each other.
Yes, fun.
All right, before we turn into Friday, let's talk about your scores and duds. You only had one dud for us, so Christmas Starbucks not doing so well, I see.
No, it's been up there for a year or more. Yeah,
It's
we're gonna have to run a sale.
Yeah, so look at that. It's only $10. It's treasure my heart. If you need this Christmas 2015 Starbucks, Nancy's ready to deal. Let's do this.
Christmas sells every day.
Oh, these were your Instagram packages this week, right?
Yep, from last weekend's sale.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love it. Yeah, I kind of had that out of order, but I saw it coming up. I'm like, oh, we'll share this. And then
it's a couple $100 in cake decor right there.
I like it.
Please.
Okay, I always pass up Cook Street, and lately I've seen a couple that I thought were pretty decent, but I still didn't pass it because it's the Walmart brand of Hawaii. That's why.
Ay, Jace. I just don't come across that many vintage, but I will buy any Hawaiian brand.
All right.
And they sell.
Great price.
Decent price.
Yeah.
Get them for $5, sell them for $25.
Okay, I forgot to put this up there. All right, follow us. There we go. And when you follow us, make sure you give us a bunch of likes. Like this show. Give us a thumbs up right down below. I forgot I had fun little graphics. This and this and this. I don't want to forget my graphics.
The graphic king.
There we go. Yeah, so Cook Street's not one I normally pay attention to, and I've passed up a couple vintagey ones, and I guess I should snag them. So now I'm sad I missed them.
Why? LuLaRoe leggings. Everybody's over it.
Yeah. But that sold for $25, right? I like that design.
Did that one? I think I probably took a best offer on that one.
Okay. It looked like it was sold for $25, but yeah. Somebody needed
may have
new with tags.
Somebody. Yeah.
Now, what is this funness?
That one. That was my. Yes, I sold. That was just this last week, wasn't it? I sold a Hawaiian book, and it went to France.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes I've had things so long that when I sell them, I'm like, oh, dang, I wanted to keep that now.
Yeah. I have that problem too.
So my aunt used to date him.
Date who?
Herb
Kane.
Kane.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So talk about small world. I'm pretty sure my mom's in the chat. I think Norma used to date him, if I'm recalling correctly.
Did she date him in Hawaii or the mainland?
Yeah, she lives in Hawaii with my mom.
Or in France.
She's my aunt by marriage. But I'm
funny.
sure an early boyfriend of hers. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good.
And then I saw this, and I'm like, "What? Pencil for $70?"
Yeah. Now my daughter actually got these. She was invited when she was invited to help clear out a deceased relative's home, and she grabbed up everything she thought was cute or that I would like, and this was one of those things.
Wow. And they sold.
Yeah, I had it listed for. Yeah, they sold for full price, and I had them for a long time, but they did.
Awesome.
Okay, so I was right. See, my mom said yes, she did. So I thought when I saw your score, I'm like, oh shit, that was my early boyfriend.
That's funny.
See, small world.
Small world.
For sure.
Greg thinks all the girls are cute, and me too, but I'm not for him.
Can I ask a quick question? Is vintage 20 years old or older? I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it
I
can
think,
be
generally speaking, vintage means 20 years or older.
okay.
When we think of vintage, we think 50s, 60s, 70s,
Right.
even though 80s would qualify, not so much. And then the term antique is technically anything 100 years or older. And
Okay.
then you hear people say retro. That's more of a modern item made to look vintage.
Okay.
But yeah.
And mid-century modern is like what, 1950 and earlier, or where does mid-century
50s
modern?
and 60s. 50s and 60s, and sometimes the 70s sneaks in there a little bit, like that 70s show kind of sneaks in there a little bit.
Okay.
50s and 60s, generally speaking, and often it's the atomic sort of look.
Okay. So
But
technically,
all of this is mid-century modern.
so mid-century modern is technically when I was a child. That's my childhood and through my teenage years. That was mid-century
Right,
modern.
and mine as well. Yeah.
Good times to be alive. Best rock and roll in the 70s. That was the best music.
And Randy's very true. Y2K is vintage now.
That blows my mind.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
And Susan is really vintage with a lot of L's.
Oh,
So what do you, Nance, do you plan out the junk journals or just you sit down one day and you're like, inspiration, and then it hits you?
Well, I gather up all the stuff I want to use, all the cool things that I have found. For instance, right now I'm working on Easter ones.
Oh.
So I have like some jukebox music labels, from inside the jukebox that are in pastel colors and they're Easter songs. So I totally know I want to use those. I have some really cute little golden books that are Easter themed. So I pull all together that kind of stuff. And then I want to plan out lots of journaling pages, and then I just start piling in the cute stuff as I go along. This page needs some lace, and this page needs some, trim, and this, and I just have fun from there.
But I gotta ask, before you
Mhm.
take these cute little books apart, do you make sure or do you check their value to see if they're worth anything reselling on eBay?
Good question. Now, I'll tell you what, a lot of the people that make these junk journals want to use the vintage ones. I feel more of a loyalty to preserving.
Thank you.
There is a way to check in these little golden books if they're first edition, and I would never take one of those apart.
Okay.
So I will take apart a new one, and the covers are nicer that way too. I'll take apart a new one, and then I will use those pages. I can color photocopy the vintage one if I want to use some of those and cut them out and use them as graphics, but I don't want to take those books apart.
That makes his bookseller's heart feel better.
Yeah.
Awesome. They are adorable. I've never even knew this existed, but Stephanie Mirsky is a good friend of ours, and I know she is crazy about all this journaling stuff. But I'm just like,
It's fun.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I think it's kind of the natural progression for those of us who used to scrapbook, but when photography went digital, scrapbooking kind of died off and paper crafting needed somewhere to go. And so I think it's kind of merged over into this kind of a hobby.
That's awesome. And you could do grandmother ones, like they could leave for the grandkids. These were, as a grandmother, these are my little things, and leave them to the grandkids.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the tiki ones you're working on. I'm very excited by that.
Yeah.
Oh, I found these playing cards, Jason, that are like this big, but they're Hawaiian playing cards. And those are going to be the covers. I'm so excited.
You better let us see those first before you sell them out, please.
I know. I think I better just send him one. I'll send Stacy one. She's, and we'll go from there. Yeah. Hi, Stacy.
Oh wow, this was so fun. This whole show just blowing my mind. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much. It's Instagram. It's how to sell. It's how to craft. I mean, there's just so much going on, and that's kind of it's been the whole point of the show forever. But really, lately, some people are having a very down time. There are a lot of people that aren't working right now. But if you can keep thinking of different angles, different side hustles, yes. Nancy's got her 9-to-5, but then she sells on eBay and she sells on Instagram, but then she makes products. So all these side hustles, along with her main hustle makes for a very nice, comfortable living and affords us to buy fun things like gravel art.
Yeah. And it's your passion. I can tell you enjoy it. It's not a chore to make this. You have fun doing it.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be any fun. We all want to, it's my hobby, you know, you got to live for something once the kids are grown.
Yes.
All right. So that is a supersized edition of Thrifty Business.
Love it.
But I knew it was going to be. I knew we had so much content between the three of us tonight. I wasn't even worried that we were going to run over a little bit because I knew it would happen. So do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up right there. Give Nancy a thumbs up, or myself, or Debbie, or Stacy's new segment.
Yay!
And if you've never subscribed before, please subscribe, and you can get that right here. If you've not subscribed, click the bell. The bell lets you know when we're going live, when I'm posting new videos, and I will make that video tomorrow on how to put a little like small picture inside a bigger picture so you can have the front and back in that same shot like I did with the Rolling Stones jacket. So I was going to do it tonight, and it's too many steps, and we had too much to do tonight. So I'll do a quick like 2-minute video tomorrow, and I'll get it up on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Nancy, as soon as all this clears up and we can move about the country as normal, I will see you in the LA area very soon because we are itching to get to LA and hit some tiki bars.
Love it.
Heck yeah. And incredible chat tonight. I want to thank all the new people who came in tonight. It was good to see everybody. Mark wants to know if you're doing a YouTube of making your junk journals.
You know, I haven't. There are lots of people who do. Maybe at some point in the future I will. I don't have that kind of following yet. Maybe by the end of tonight, who knows?
Yeah.
And funny that Mark asked that because I was thinking about that. I was thinking about shooting a video with you of making one, a little like time lapse kind of thing. So let's chat this weekend. I got an idea.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, Angela's already got the thread up. Cool. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Good to see everyone. Please stay safe. Stay home unless it's an absolute necessity until we flatten the curve. And then we can move about the country as needed, and we can go back to hanging out with our friends and get back to thrifting. But at least for another couple of weeks, let's just stay home, work on our profit piles that Debbie renamed from death piles. And when you're not watching Tiger King or Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, join us here. You'll see Mom and I on Sunday. We're going to revamp some of our old listings again. And then Secret Beach members, you got a bunch of cool stuff coming up next week. And those of you who maybe are affected in a different way than just being a normal seller by everything being closed, if you want to be on the show next Thursday, I would love to hear your story. So feel free to reach out to me. You can reply right to this video or message me on Facebook, and I'll be happy to add you to the show next Thursday. So Debbie, thank you very much for getting everything together. Nancy, thank you very much for being a great guest, being a great friend, and always love spending time with you.
She's so cute.
Thanks, Jason.
And Linda said, wash your hands. Yes, very much.
Yeah.
20 seconds. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you later on Jason T. Smith YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye.